Chainlink put this out, $84 trillion of intergenerational asset transfers over the next 20 years. A lot of this is going to find its way on a blockchain. We have to talk about this. There's also a new clip, $3,000 XRP, where I'll watch it with you, listen to it, and I will give you the context. Paul Atkins update, Ripple case update, investment into cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, public funds. This is a bill going through Florida's Banking House Committee. We're going to talk about that, of course. Information and updates towards the end too. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Greatest transfer of wealth. So here is from Chainlink Labs. There's an 84 trillion intergenerational wealth transfer coming, and the value is moving on chain, with trillions of dollars worth of assets set to flow into wallets of Gen X, Y, and Z investors, much of which will accumulate on-chain. Asset managers who move first to serve this new market will gain an advantage in the opportunity. It gives us an example of the first ETF and how popular that has been over the last few years. As my dad's generation retires, and as money is passed down to the kids, people that are my age, 40 and 25, 18, they're interested in the crypto market over the stock market. And that's maybe some backwards thinking for some of you, but I never really connected with the stock market, but I really love technology, and making money with technology, that's even better. So this really kind of fit me better. And I'm sure you have some kids in your life that are the same way. And as this money gets transferred to the kids, we will be investing it into, most likely, the crypto market. Obviously, some, people are going to do other things like gold and silver and stocks, but you get the gist. There's a lot of money heading this way. And if Chainlink or XRP or AVAX, whatever it is, captures, 1/10 of that value or 1/15 of the value, you're just talking about trillions of dollars coming in. And if you talk about the multiplier effect, $1 trillion, $2 trillion can make a huge, huge impact on price. I don't think people realize how much of an impact it will have. Let me go ahead and play this. Is XRP going to 3,000? I've not watched this yet. I like to watch some of these things with you so I can either tell you that this is great or this was not correct because of this. All right. So let me know if you guys enjoy when I do this, because I never know. I think you guys like this. Let me play it.
Is XRP going to go to $3,000? That's not the question. The question is, what happens if 300,000 people put a market order in for XRP all at the same time? What happens if, 3 million Chinese people, when they get access to XRP, when it's at $3, what happens if they put a market order in? XRP is like money. That makes it a commodity, like gold, like silver, like soybeans. It's supply and demand. Everybody is always like, oh, wow, the XRP math says blah, 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 blah. No, people, how about we just say it's a valuable form of money and it'll stop going up when the last person is in? And since it's only been going up for a week, I'm guessing that's a long way away.
Yeah, there's some good information there. There's a lot of what ifs, which I'm not really super excited about. Like, what if we never move to this new payment system and we stayed with the SWIFT system and it's 2100 and we're living in the 1900s? I don't know. Like, what if the world ended tomorrow? We can't live in the what if world. All we can do is take facts-based information and try to apply logic to it and make the best decisions we can out here. Here's Paul Atkins giving a speech. Solid regulatory base for digital assets is what he is going to work towards. This is now the new head of the SEC.
Since 2017, I've led industry efforts to develop best practices for the digital asset industry. I've seen how ambiguous and non-existent regulation of digital assets create uncertainty in the market and inhibit innovation. A top priority of my chairmanship will be to work with my fellow commissioners in Congress to provide a firm regulatory foundation for digital assets through a rational, coherent, and principled approach. So this is a pivotal moment for our economy. Entrepreneurs, businesses, and individuals here at home and across the globe are eager to invest in America now that President Trump is at the helm. Yet the current regulatory environment for our financial system inhibits investment and often punishes success. Unclear, overly politicized, complicated, and burdensome regulations are stifling capital formation, while American investors are flooded with disclosures that do the opposite of helping them understand the true risks of an investment. It is time to reset priorities and return common sense to the SEC. I'm eager to get to work for American markets and investors.
I love that. Love that. Plain, simple. The system is broken. I'm going to try to fix it. All right. And we will be paying attention. We will hold Paul Atkins and this current SEC accountable, right? If there is some things that start to don't look right, we will need to stand up and demand some change, right? You demanded change in the 2024 election. You got change. Now let's see what that change looks like over the next 4 years. You know, some of the stuff where he's talking about investment in America, I don't think the tariff stuff is helping, you know, markets. I'm glad we did a 90-day pause on the tariffs, but you know, there's just so many questions, and you know, different people in the White House are saying different things, and nobody really knows what's going to happen day to day. And that uncertainty certainly doesn't equate to investment in the United States right now. It equates to people wondering what's going to change day to day. And I think that could be a problem with not just the stock market, the crypto market, and the bond market, but the, you know, national security. When those things start to just plummet and people's retirement that they've been saving their entire lives is starting to be wiped out, you get protests, you get these types of things, and it's not going to be easy. Let me tell you that. All right, let's keep going. Let's see here. Crypto Barbie says, breaking Ripple news, breaking Ripple and SEC news. The parties have filed a joint motion to hold the appeal in, that is a lawyer word that I don't know. Abeyance, whatever. Based on the parties' agreement to settle, the settlement is awaiting commission approval. No brief will be filed. So, you know, if you want to read all the jargon, please do. I have some other information on this too. James K. Filan said, the parties have filed a joint motion to hold an appeal. You say this word out loud, and I am going to feel it in my heart, and I'll know how to say it next time. All right. Based on the parties' agreement to settle, the settlement is awaiting commission approval. And then here is just kind of more, here's what the document looks like. I thought it's always cool to kind of show you what these things actually look like. It's not like, you know, you're wondering this while you're driving to work or something, but here's United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. Cool beans. All right. And then here is just more of the same. We talked about that. I thought this was actually pretty good. This is how XRP actually powers near instant global payments. Always a good, you know, for people that are learning, or if you're refreshing up on some of those skills out here. You're only as good as the thing you learned yesterday. So always keep learning. The problem with cross-border payments, traditional international transfers are slow, costly, and packed with middlemen. SWIFT takes days, fees eat up as much as 20% of your payment. Holy smokes. Could you imagine? I mean, most of this stuff isn't 20%, right? 20% is like super exotic corridors. When you're sending money from, you know, let's say like the US into the Philippines, maybe there's not a lot of rails into the Philippines and they charge you a premium for that. Obviously, if you're using something like XRP or Ripple that uses XRP, you can move that value instantaneously in 3 seconds. XRP equals scale. All right. XRP equals speed, efficiency, and liquidity. Ripple designed XRP as a bridge currency to eliminate delays and efficiencies. No need for pre-funded foreign accounts, no multiple correspondent banks, just real-time conversion. I mean, this is why Ripple was sued. If we're all not on the same page, let's get on the same page. Okay? Out of all of the companies in the blockchain space, right? You chose to go after the company that puts compliance above everything, which really doesn't make sense, because if you take a look around, even in the top 10, there are some people that have already been to jail, or some people that have looked at to possibly be going to jail for some of the fraud that they have committed in the crypto market. But yet these people are allowed to continue doing what they're doing unscathed. And, you know, whether it was Ethereum or whether it was the incumbent banks, you know, or a combination of both, I'd really love to know who is finally at fault for that, right? Like, who can I go to my grave blaming for the SEC lawsuit? Was it Ethereum, or was it, you know, Chase, or, you know, someone like that? I really want to know. Don't debank me, Chase. Please don't debank me. All right. The big picture workflow. Here's how a cross-border XRP payment network works. USD, XRP, Euro, all through the XRP ledger and RippleNet. The sender's money is instantly transformed and delivered globally. Let me just say really quickly, I love Chase. Don't shoot me, please. I don't want to wake up tomorrow and you're like, oh, my money has to be transferred out. Wouldn't that suck? I didn't watch this. All right. Step 1, initiate the payment. A business or bank sends a US dollar using RippleNet. RippleNet connects to global partners and local payout markets. Think of it as a Swift 2.0, but built on blockchain ledger. Step 2, convert US dollars into XRP using the XRP ledger's built-in DEX. USD is swapped for XRP. Ordering books plus pathfinding algorithms equals the most efficient conversion route. Auto bridging kicks in, and if needed, for better rates. Step 3, transfer the money, XRP instantly. The XRP is sent from the sender to the recipient across the XRP ledger. Time 3 to 5 seconds. No miners, no gas, no congestion, just clean, fast settlement. You also have step 4. If you're trying to convert it, let's say from XRP to a euro, then the received XRP is converted into a euro using the DEX. Again, matched through open book orders. No need for a recipient to hold XRP. They get their local currency directly. Step 5, final payout. Euro lands in the recipient's bank account. No more pre-funded accounts. No manual processing. Payments are atomic. They either fully complete or don't go through. No partials, no errors. Cool. Auto bridging between assets, built-in decentralized exchange, real-time liquidity sourcing, scales for micro and bulk payments. No mining equals energy efficient. I thought that was a good little rundown. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, big dog. All things XRP. Thank you, sir. Good, sir. Thank you. All right. Florida's Insurance and Banking House Committee unanimously passed HB 487. Man, some states are just going in hard, faster than the government actually is, the federal government. So if you're not from the US, you have, 50 states. Just kidding. You have 50 states, and each state has legislation, right? Who runs that particular state. And then you also have federal. So you have let's say you have the local police, and then you have federal police, right? That investigate, more serious federal crimes. And so states can actually do things before the federal government does. And it does happen quite often. And you will notice that some laws and rules will change in each state, sometimes each county that you are in the United States. Could get kind of confusing, but that's how it is here. It's just so to give you that context.
So I ask you to have the faith today, the faith to vote up on this very important bill.
Did he say the faith?
487. So I ask you to have the faith today, the faith to vote up on this very important bill, HB 487. You'll remember those numbers because it'll come back as the day when you stood tall for the great state of Florida and made the vote that put Florida in the leading edge of this very new technology in our state and throughout our nation. And for that, I close.
Thank you. Kimberly, would you please call the roll?
Chair Yeager.
Yes.
Vice Chair Cassell.
Yes.
Ranking Democratic Member Chambliss.
Yes.
Representatives Alvarez.
Yes, ma'am.
Anderson.
Yes.
Yes.
Botana.
Yes.
Caruso.
Yes.
Yes.
Gonzalez Pittman.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Henson.
Yes.
Yes.
Kencart Johnson.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Steele.
Yes.
Valdez. Woodson.
Yes.
So obviously there's some people that are not here, right? Maybe they don't want to be on record voting against this. I can understand that. But, it's a trip to see from one year to the next how much anti-crypto stuff was happening. And now everybody's just leaning in. Everybody is just leaning in. Now, I do think overall this is going to be good for future markets, but, this is still going to take time to kick in. Processes need to be put in place. The bill needs to actually be put on this is the subcommittee, right? So it needs to be put on the full House and Senate of the Florida state legislature. But once this gets through, public funds, like if you work for, let's say, the state, like you are a police officer or you work for a state hospital, something like that, right? A social worker, something that has to do with getting paid by the state, or, then you are going to be able to invest your retirement into hopefully other things other than Bitcoin. But yes, crypto. Hopefully it's not just Bitcoin, but it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me anything. Like I've never seen such a big magic trick, right? What is happening is in fact a magic trick. You think something's happening here when really it's happening over there, right? You are distracted. And that is what politicians, that is what big Bitcoin bulls will tell you, that you need to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the future. When we know Bitcoin is a store of value, right? You could invest in a store of value, right? That doesn't fluctuate as hard as Bitcoin, which is gold. I do think there's a lot of people that think Bitcoin's going to 500,000 or a million, but Bitcoin could easily, something could happen. It could go the other way, right? When you're only relying on a store of value, you can only be a store of value while people believe in that store of value. The second something happens or shifts the mainstream opinion of something, that could go very badly. And the reason I find myself talking so passionately about Ripple and XRP and tokenization and CBDCs is because this is some technology that's not just a store of value, right? It's everything, right? It's everything. The most important avenues that banks are going down right now to update these rails, stable coins, custody of these assets, it hits on every box for me. Let me know if it hits for you too. All right, so we have an update. We anticipate that stablecoin legislation will pass before August recess. So if we don't get a bill that is put out and passed by August, they will go on vacation or break, and then they will come back. I think it's like in October. I don't know. They're gone for a few weeks. U.S. institutions could begin announcing entry into the stablecoin industry by the fourth quarter of 2025. Regulatory clarity for stablecoins will soon be achieved in the United States. So yeah, so if you look at past markets, some would say that September, October should be about the peak of this bull market. If this stuff is going into effect at the end of the year and really won't be adopted till like 2026, this won't save the market from going back down the other way, right? Remember, if you look at the 2021 cycle, let me just show you this. Coin market cap. Let's just look at something like AVAX, right? Because you can't look at an XRP because it really didn't have a 2021 cycle. But what I'm trying to show you is this, right? So like, here's when it started, 8/4/2021. So this is like August sometime. It just started going. And this peak, the peak was 11/23. So this is, less than 3 months from total explosion to going back down. So this peak was 11/23 and it started falling. So this is probably when you need to start paying attention to the market and plan accordingly. Talk with your financial advisor, get a plan so you can understand what you're going to be doing with that crypto at that time. Some people are going to stay in, just don't care if it goes up or down. I'm here for the long run. Some people do care and they're going to want to, try to make some profit, and then they're going to want to take that profit and, whatever they're going to do with it, right? But definitely talk with that financial advisor. The foundation is set. Flare's DeFi stack is ready. I always get a little weird on the second video because I've had the Red Bull and it's just like too much. It's too much for me, right? XRP, giving XRP programmability and purpose in DeFi. Borrow, lend, trade, stake. XRP Fi is coming. Here we go. It's getting interesting, man. Finally, we have so much going for us. Like I can't be thankful enough for all of the great information that is coming out right now for the XRP and Ripple space. Just cannot be more thankful enough. April 7th, here's the NYSE. The NYSE ARCA certifies approval for listing and registration of a 2x long daily XRP ETF. And listen, I played this in a video that's probably going to come out before this one, but this was my favorite clip this week. Definitely. There is some cussing in this video. So if you have a youngster that is listening, please go ahead and just turn this down and watch this clip later. Just wanted to give you that warning because there is several F-bombs in this clip. I'm playing it now.
Don't fuck this up. Buy and hold. Don't use leverage. Use cold storage. Do the right thing. Don't get too speculative. Don't FOMO. Just don't fuck this up. This is the biggest opportunity we've ever been given. I've said that all the way from 2020 onwards. And in fact, I said it all the way back in 2012. It's the biggest macro trade of all time. Don't fuck this up. And if you're not a crypto person, technology is one of the biggest opportunities we've ever been given, the exponential age. Again, don't fuck this up. Just be careful. Just buy, hold, have a long-term time horizon, and learn how to take pain. And when there is pain, you buy more. Unless something changes the thesis that suddenly we're all going to turn to Neanderthals and nobody's going to use technology ever again, it is going up. It's as simple as that. And unless something changes that we're not breaking the financial system and that the internet has disappeared, we will go to blockchain technology. It's as simple as that. That's all you need to know. Everything else is just fucking noise.
Let's end on that. All right, guys, if you got any value, please hit like, please share with somebody you know. And if we're on our way to 100,000 subscribers, if you want to be a part of that journey, my journey, I would love to have you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. I've been Crypto Sensei. Have a great weekend coming up. Aloha.